Every teacher taught everything. We taught, language arts, reading, everything, and we taught one group.
What's the first number tell you? That number represents what?
As time went on, they started leaning towards specializing, trying to get teachers to specialize. They saw that high school, mostly all the teachers specialized and taught one subject. They would get really good at that subject, and they would do a better job.
Like yesterday we did a bar graph, we made a bar graph, now we're constructing one with your body. And all I have to do is count from Candela all the way to the back to find the difference. One, you think?
And they kind of brought that into the elementary school where we did cross grouping.
Between your bars. When you look at the bar graph,
instead of having one group, now you have two groups. And they would be teaching, I would be teaching math, social studies, and science.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
And then they took it one step further, and now they would call it a wheel, where they took social studies and science away from me and gave it to another teacher. And now I'm only teaching math, and instead of 2 groups, I'm doing 4 groups.
Because we're going to use the tiles.
So now I have the pressure that I'm teaching math to most of all the 3rd graders.
Feet together, feet together. You can't be skipping tiles because each tile is a number up to 6, correct? Like that.
So now the pressure's on that the math score for the school in 3rd grade, the bulk of it is coming from what I'm teaching them. So
if this is 6. You didn't put has, and then when you skip a word, it can change the whole entire meaning of the sentence. And then you really get confused. Imagine, the word problem is a little bit hard as it is, and then you start missing out words and reading it incorrectly, then all of a sudden it becomes, a hard problem becomes even impossible. Alright, 5 times 8. 6. 6. 40. 40. You said 45 is 5 times 9 is 45. Look at the clock. Look at the clock. The 8. If the minute hand hits the 8.
We just did a workshop yesterday where we were teaching the parents. They can log into their student portal and they can actually access the book online. So they really necessarily don't have to take the book home because they can go look at the book and print out the pages and then do the work that way. So yeah, they're already looking. They're already looking at the book online in their 3rd grade. And I'm going to start like next week or so. There's little assignments that I can assign them. So I'm going to start doing that so they can do some of the homework online. And I get them ready for later on for middle school, high school.
I started teaching in 2010. As soon as I graduated from Long Island, I moved down here and I got a job on a phone interview and started right away that August. So I graduated in June, I started here in August, and I've been here since then. Like, I just couldn't even believe that I ended up at Addison Meisner. So I've been here since, but I taught 1st grade gifted, 2nd grade gifted, kindergarten gifted, and now I'm in 1st grade regular. And it definitely was helpful just to see where they're going. So now that I'm back in 1st, I know in 2nd grade what's expected of them. So it really helps me plan. And I know what they were weak in, so I know to spend more time on that. So just teaching them really procedures and routines and just really making sure that they build that reading stamina now so that when it's more challenging, they have the fluency, they have the accuracy, they know what's going on in the book and the basics, like the story elements. And in math, like just teaching them the basic addition and subtraction facts so that when they get into multiplication and division, they have the foundation for that. Today I was able to pull a group and be at the back table most of the time. In the beginning, I wasn't able to sit back there. I had to constantly be circling around watching them. So it's just, over time, they mature and they get used to it. Kids are hilarious. Like, they just, every day is different and they say the funniest things. When I was 11 or 12, I started babysitting. After that, I worked in a gym nursery. After that, I worked in a preschool, and it's just kind of always been, I don't know, just like, I just liked it the best. I'm really more of like a positive reinforcement person. I try not to take things away. You ask who wants to go on the computer, every hand goes up. So I'll have them sit at their desk instead and read their books instead of going on the computer. This is where they really do the fun stuff, and like learning to love reading, or just the hands-on experience is more like real life. Like if you grow up and you end up being a scientist, you're not just sitting there reading all the time, you're doing stuff. So I think it's important for them to get the hands-on and just learn to love it and be curious and have that curiosity be rewarded. In the upper grades, sometimes they're just under so much pressure. It's like, take the test, take the test, take the test. And I think the skills, like the life skills, like learning to be with people and be nice and work well together, and the collaborating, I think all of that is so important. I want them to be able to research for themselves. I don't want them to be stuck with the knowledge that's just like thrown at them. I want them to be curious and research for themselves and make their own opinions and just like not be robots, you know? Like I really want them to find out things for themselves.
My name's Brian Gonzalez. I've been teaching now for my 11th year. I started off at Miami-Dade College, and then from there I transferred up to Florida State. I wasn't the best of students, you know, I was always a struggling student, which is why lots of people, when they found out I became a teacher, they're absolutely shocked because I struggled as a student. But that's what I think inspired me to be a teacher. I was always frustrated with teachers that never gave me a chance, that they always looked at me as I was lazy. So I said, you know what, the favorite part of my life was being a kid. So I'm going to make sure that when I become a teacher, I'm going to reach out to those students who are usually ignored and neglected in the classroom. My 9th year teaching 3rd grade, I kind of hit what we call like, in any aspect of life, the comfort zone. So when I was able to get now to be at the 5th grade, it was inspirational. So now I'm doing a lot of things that I've never done before, new novels, new teaching strategies, techniques, discipline plans. So it's good. It keeps us on our toes, being able to switch from one grade level to the next. So you're saying when you're walking down the street and you see someone with lots of tattoos and lots of earrings and real colorful clothes, maybe a super tall mohawk, shaved head, something carved out into the design of the head, and you see them walking towards you and your reaction is, oh no, I better turn and walk the other way?
Yeah.
But realistically,
they could have done that before and they probably regretted how they could be a nice person now and change, and they might have never even been bad at all.
Challenges that are the most important to me are students who come from families that just simply don't care, or they don't know how to care properly the right way. So when we have students, this is 5th grade, you learn your times tables in 2nd to 3rd grade. So when you have students, not because of a disability, but that simply do not go home and practice their timetables and learn them in 2nd and 3rd grade, they get to 5th grade and everything we do, division, simplification, everything is tied in to a skill that they had to learn in a prior grade level. And when parents don't force their children to sit down and to do the work and to learn the basics, that is the absolute biggest challenge. Technology is the gift and the curse. The gift is that we have the information accessible immediately. The gift is that now when I'm doing a lesson, let's say on ecosystems in the Everglades, I don't have to just rely on the 4 pages that my science book gets me. We can now tap into the Everglades website, put it on the smartboard. Now the curse is that the students are very dependent on it. Students want everything right now. So when they don't understand the word, they just type it in, they see the little red squiggly line underneath, they right-click it, it gives them the correct spelling. Students don't know how to, little by little, search for it on a dictionary or do things at a slow pace and realize that things take time. If you could build a system of trust where the students see that you care about them, you're genuine, your lessons aren't just for a test, your lessons are to make them better human beings in life, I think that the students really believe in you and they trust you and they open up and they tell you their life's little problems, and then they want to work harder for you. Thus, therefore, they're going to be behaving better and they're going to be learning more. The very first day of class, after introducing myself, I introduced a poem that was told to me by my good friend Lincoln Gabriel Diaz-Balart. Lincoln lived by this ideology that he discovered that was originally written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So when Lincoln shared this with his friends, I said, I need to share this with my students. It defines what is success. What is success? To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate the beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived, this is to have succeeded.